But Jennifer, don't worry about Jennifer Flowers. She got a new job. She got fired, you know. She was a receptionist at an unemployment agency. She got canned, but she got a new job today as a Donald Trump backup mistress. That's right. That's right. If for any reason Marla Maples is unable to fulfill her duties, Jennifer steps in.
More breaking legal news just in. A federal appeals court has upheld the verdict that Trump defamed writer E. Jean Carroll and that he must pay her $83 million in damages.
So, Anna, this is the second ruling from the Second Circuit Court of Appeals in the second E. Jean Carroll trial. You'll remember E. Jean Carroll went to trial against President Trump twice. The first of her verdicts was upheld by this same court. That was for a $5 million award. This is the verdict that represents what President Trump said about E. Jean Carroll when he was still in office. So he appealed that verdict on multiple grounds, including the fact that the Supreme Court's presidential immunity decision should have protected him not only from damages, but also from even having to sit through the trial in the first place. Today, through what's called a per curiam decision, meaning it's unsigned, all three judges agree. They have upheld the verdict in its entirety, including the punitive damages award. That means, as of today, E. Jean Carroll's $83.3 million verdict against President Trump still holds, and it is accumulating interest over time, so that ultimately, if the Supreme Court either upholds it or rejects a challenge by President Trump, she'll walk away with even more.
Special Countdown Bulletin podcast is now live. In a news conference, crazy even by his standards, Donald Trump declared Friday afternoon in the Oval Office that criticism of him is now really illegal. Trump was asked about the follow-up to the FCC blackmailing of ABC over the Charlie Kirk story as reported by Jimmy Kimmel and how they got Kimmel forced off the air by FCC blackmail. He turned the topic immediately to himself, made up a statistic that 94, 95, 96, or 97% of all stories on network news are against him, and, quote, "That's really illegal, in my opinion." Trump declaring something illegal, in his opinion, is not the end of it, except if there are scheming men inside that mafia organization he describes as an administration, such as we saw this week when Brendan Carr decided to act on his own to remove Kimmel from the airwaves by extra legal means. What will happen next is, in fact, there going to be some attempt to combine these two events in which the FCC now goes after the networks for illegal Trump criticism. Or worse yet, if Trump now expands his promise to declare Antifa, which does not really exist, a terrorist organization. And if the organization does not exist, how can you prove you are not a member of it? In other words, could you be declared an Antifa terrorist for criticizing Trump? This week's two stories: the FCC reaction, the FCC lies about what Jimmy Kimmel said about Charlie Kirk, and the FCC bullying and blackmailing in concert with Sinclair Broadcasting over this entire Kimmel story. Put those two stories together, it got such bad response that it was criticized roundly, logically, clearly, and yet angrily Friday afternoon by Republican Senator Ted Cruz. Cruz positions himself against Trump over Jimmy Kimmel.
Pressed Trump about Bondi's unconstitutional threats. He looked directly at ABC John Carl and said, "We'll probably go after people like you because you treat me so unfairly. It's hate." That's a quote from the President of the United States, who just threatened to prosecute a reporter for asking tough questions. This is our actual reality right now. And here's what's really wild. This isn't even close to the most authoritarian thing this administration has done, but it's the thing that finally made conservatives uncomfortable. Bondi is spearheading a campaign to destroy anyone who dared criticize Charlie Kirk, leading to teachers, military workers, military personnel all being fired from their jobs for exercising their constitutional rights. But threatening to arrest people for hate speech, that's where they draw the line. I mean, I guess at least they have a line, whatever, we'll take it. If Bondi can redefine hate speech to mean anything that offends her political sensibilities, what's to stop her from coming for you next? Criticize government policy, hate speech against public servants, question election integrity, hate speech against democracy. Let's zoom out for a second. Attorney General Pam Bondi took a $25,000 bribe from Trump. For all this backlash, Bondi tried to clean up her mess by telling Axios that her office isn't actually going to prosecute anyone for hate speech, only for speech that unlawfully incites violence. But here's the thing, inciting violence was already illegal. We didn't need Bondi to invent a new category of prosecutable speech. The fact that she had to walk back her comments proves she knew exactly what she was doing, testing the waters to see how far she could push before Americans pushed back. She got caught saying the quiet part out loud, and now she's scrambling to pretend she never meant what she clearly said on multiple platforms. Pam Bondi has shown us exactly who she is, a corrupt GOP partisan who will use the Justice Department as Trump's personal revenge machine. Constitution be damned. The fact that it took openly threatening to arrest Americans for protected speech to finally get conservatives to speak up tells you everything you need to know about how far we've fallen. When even the most loyal Trump supporters are now calling for her removal, she's openly threatened to prosecute the First Amendment out of existence. And when she's using a tragedy to justify authoritarian overreach, every American should be asking, how did we get here? How did we let it get this bad? What are you going to do about it?
Hold on. What did you just say about Trump?
I said, Trump's a fucking liar. Inflation's going up. Gas prices hasn't really come down that much. Eggs? Oh, that's the funny one. The eggs. I'm mad. And I'm a mega man. Okay? I don't see anything he's done.
So is it safe to say that the illusion has faded?
I think it has, yes. You know, I was for him because, you know, everything he said, you know, he played right into my hands. He just told us everything we wanted to hear. That's what he did. I can't even stand to look at him because, you know, he's just he's a con. He's a flat ass, nothing but a fucking con. You know, they all the right side, they say, oh yeah, the Biden side was so bad. Well, what's so good about the right side? He brags about doing something with our economy, but I haven't seen anything happen yet. That big beautiful bill is going to add, they say $2.5 trillion. It's going to add about $4 trillion to the debt. The big beautiful bill. Oh, what a joke. Remember what happened in the 80s with trickle-down economics? Yeah. The filthy rich got richer, and us guys that worked for a living paid more taxes. I'm disappointed for sure. I'm real disappointed.
What does the hat say, Eric?
Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Of course. The gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman. And I'll get to AI in a moment, but I'm not going to miss the opportunity to ask my colleagues, the proponents of free speech across the aisle and the champions who sit with me, to condemn in the harshest terms what is happening right now from our administration. The second late-night comedian has been taken off the air because the president did not like a joke. I want to first condemn in the harshest tones the murder of Charlie Kirk. He should be with his family right now. He should be with his children. He should be alive. He had a right to say what he wanted to say to who he wanted to say without any physical violence being brought his way. And Jimmy Kimmel had a right to say what he said, which didn't in any way suggest that somebody in the MAGA world had been responsible for the murder of Charlie Kirk. He was just pointing out what folks online were doing as Twitter detectives before any investigation had been completed were saying about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And then he pointed out that Donald Trump, who did not go to Kirk's memorial service at the Kennedy Center over the weekend, when he was asked how he was feeling about the assassination, did not address it, but rather went right to a construction project. And for that, Jimmy Kimmel was taken off the air. That's not who we are. That's what it looks like in China. That's what it looks like in Russia. That can't be what it looks like in America. And the foundation of this, the genesis of this, was the president's FCC chairperson, Brandon Carr, sending a tweet that said, essentially, and giving an interview to a podcaster where he said, essentially, if ABC doesn't want to do this the easy way and suspend Jimmy Kimmel, we will do it the hard way. And it would be government censorship.
Pete, it's really important to understand that the Jimmy Kimmel news is about politics. This is about the President of the United States, who doesn't like that a comedian had the freedom to make fun of him, pressuring a corporation that had business before the government to make sure that he was taken off the air. And there's something I want to say to any of the business leaders who are being dragged across one red line after the other, who are going along with it because they think it's going to help them or because they think it will get the Trump administration off their back. You need to understand that this is a one-way trip, that sooner or later, if you play this game, you will have even less room for maneuver in the future. They didn't stop at the law firms. They didn't stop at the universities. They didn't even stop with the comedians. They are not going to stop until they have total power. And if you try to ride this tiger as a business or organizational leader, sooner or later, it will eat you.
Yeah, so Jimmy Kimmel got fired. Yeah, and now Seth Meyers and Jimmy Fallon went after that. And I want people to realize something. This is no longer a hypothetical, okay? We are no longer in the this is their plan phase. We are in this is their plan, guys. It's happening right now. This is not just silencing comedians. It's far beyond that. They fired people from the Washington Post. They fired people from MSNBC. They are literally controlling the narrative in the media. And if you don't see it, this is your chance to wake up and see it, because it isn't hypothetical. It's happening right in front of our faces. Guess what's coming next? And I want everyone to pay attention to what I'm about to say, because this is coming next. They're going to begin going after nonprofit organizations. If you don't think that's going to happen, I need you to wake the hell up, because the next people on the list is nonprofit organizations.
The Trump administration may be getting ready to fire the U.S. attorney in the Eastern District of Virginia. Why, you ask? Well, according to reporting from my colleague Ken Delaney, the U.S. attorney is refusing to bring criminal mortgage fraud charges against New York Attorney General Letitia James.
Two sources familiar with the matter are telling us that Eric Siebert, the U.S. attorney in the Eastern District of Virginia, a Trump appointee, but also a career prosecutor, has been given an ultimatum that he should either resign or he will be fired. And we were told that he would be fired today. Obviously, it hasn't happened yet, at least as far as we know, in part because he is refusing to bring charges against New York Attorney General James over this mortgage fraud case, these mortgage fraud allegations that are before the grand jury. And what we're learning is that the career prosecutors involved in this matter just do not believe there's sufficient evidence to bring charges. And people should remember that, it's not a crime if you make a mistake on a mortgage application. The crime would be knowingly, misstating facts in order to get a more advantageous interest rate, for example. And that's what her critics have accused her of. And she denies that and says it was a mistake. And they would need evidence to show that it wasn't a mistake. And the prosecutors are saying that this is not a strong case. They don't believe they can win it. So they're declining to bring it. If this happens, Katie, this will be a new thing that we have not seen, a Rubicon really crossed for the Trump administration. We saw that they ordered charges dropped against the New York mayor for what many people saw as political reasons. A judge called it a political bargain. But we have not seen charges ordered to be brought over the objection of career prosecutors. That is really astounding, and would be, some people would see that as an incredible abuse of power. U.S. attorneys are normally given a lot of latitude. They are presidentially appointed, and they get to normally make the calls on their own cases. And in this case, that seems not to be happening, Katie.
There were at least 40 minors who gave sworn statements to the FBI as part of the investigation before a decision was made in this case that they had been raped, abused, and trafficked. Over 40 minors. And the line prosecutor in this case wrote an 82-page memo to the leadership in the U.S. Attorney's Office recommending a prosecution. And she was so convinced, based on the evidence and interviews that she had taken and reviewed, that she drafted a 53-page indictment in this case. And what Mr. Acosta just told us is that based on his assessment of the case with his team, that he did not see sufficient evidence to move forward with prosecuting the case, that there were weaknesses in the case. When asked if he made the decision as to whether or not to fully prosecute this case, he took responsibility for it. He said it was the decision of him and his team. But when asked if he had directly reviewed the evidence itself in this case, he said that he had not actually read the statements of the victims. So let me just say this. Something doesn't smell right here.
Democrats are demanding transparency from the Trump administration after an ICE agent shot and killed a man near Chicago. Federal immigration officials say the man attempted to drive his vehicle into agents as he tried to get away. What do we know about this shooting, and what has been the reaction from both the Trump administration and immigration advocates?
Well, Alex, before we get to advocates, actually new today, we have reaction from the family of Silverio Villegas Gonzalez, the 38-year-old who they're calling a devoted father, a cherished friend, and a kind soul. They went on saying that he had just dropped his two little kids off at school yesterday morning when this traffic stop happened, and they, along with immigration advocates, they're condemning everything that happened there yesterday morning in this kind of western Chicago suburb, which, by the way, has a huge Latino population, saying that fleeing a traffic stop is not a capital offense, but for Villegas Gonzalez came with effectively the death sentence. We'll get into DHS and ICE's account of what happened here in a bit, but just to kind of lay out the top of what you explained there, Governor J.B. Pritzker, for instance, a Democrat and frequent critic of President Trump, sort of calling for a full, in his words, a full and factual accounting of what happened, calling for transparency and accountability. So this is coming amid what President Trump has called Operation Midway Blitz. They've been saying, the Trump administration has been saying they're rounding up immigrants with criminal records, which they said was the case here. We should point out NBC News reviewed Villegas Gonzalez's record and found no history of criminal charges. So we'll just point that out. As far as DHS and ICE, they say this was a traffic stop when Villegas Gonzalez ran his car at officers, hitting one. They say he dragged him a significant distance. They say the ICE officer, who's not being named right now, sustained severe injuries, but is stable. But that's who they say pulled out their gun and ended up shooting Villegas Gonzalez, which they say followed training, followed protocol. So that's what we're hearing from the Trump administration. Here's a statement, part of what DHS put out yesterday. They wrote, "We are praying for the speedy recovery of our law enforcement officer." Again, they say he followed his training, used appropriate force, and properly enforced the law to protect the public and law enforcement. One final note, Alex, that agency, ICE in particular, highlighting that amid these escalating raids across the country, they say they've seen a 1,000% increase on assaults and attacks on their ICE officers. Again, amid all of these increased raids in a growing number of cities nationwide, this one, as you can imagine, getting a lot of attention.
Oh my God. That was really cool, guys. You guys are super cool for that. Wow. Big stuff, man. Thank you. Big stuff, guys. She's getting her sign. She's getting her sign. Go get it for her. Go get it for her. Give me your sign. Give me your sign. Give me your sign. Fall down. You're gonna need some shit. Yeah, you have to. It's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse. You're not threatening anyone. We're not threatening anyone. Move out! Move out! Move out! How is she supposed to move? How is she supposed to move? You shut her in the face! Right there, that's good. Get your boy! What the fuck is wrong with you? You can't get off the property, you did! You got off the property! He's coming over to beat your ass! What the fuck is wrong with you?
Charlie Kirk funeral and people making videos saying, I am Charlie Kirk. Not I am Charlie Kirk. They're saying they're Charlie Kirk. Yeah, this is old Texas Paul. Hope your coffee's as good as mine. Yeah, I hope it's better. I really do. I hope it's better. Yeah, let's talk about those two things. First of all, let's talk about the funeral. It is your right to hold that funeral. It is your right to hold that funeral. I will lay down my life to protect the laws that allow you to hold that funeral. But that doesn't mean it's free from repercussions. It doesn't. If you run a business, I will never do business with you if you show up at that funeral. If you are an entertainer, I will never watch anything you make. If you're a singer, I will never listen to a song you sing. If you are a Democrat and you show up at that funeral, I will never, ever support you. Ever. Ever. I will support everybody, every one of your primary opponents. Forever. That is just the way it is. That is just the way it is. Charlie Jerk was a bigot and a misogynist. Which takes us to the people making the videos that say, I am Charlie Kirk. You know, most of those people have never even listened to Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was not that big a deal. He really wasn't that big a deal. Most of these people, I know personally somebody who is a right-winger and MAGA and all up in their feels about Charlie Kirk because they believe everything about Charlie Kirk they've been told, but they don't know for themselves because that man never watched Charlie Kirk, and I know he didn't because of the shit that he says out of his mouth. He doesn't repeat Charlie Kirk bullshit. He has never listened to Charlie Kirk in his life, but he is, oh, I am Charlie Kirk. Okay. Here's the problem with that. I believe you. You make a video saying, I am Charlie Kirk, I believe you. And wait till you fucking find out what and who Charlie Kirk was.
It's time for the Trucker John live stream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The Trucker John live stream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John live stream. Gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit. Hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well, yeah, it's the Trucker John live stream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John live stream is the best thing you've ever seen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. Trucker John.
Alrighty. Testing, testing, testing. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Let me see. Let me turn my volume up here and see if I can hear myself. Yeah, I guess I can. Testing, testing, testing. Hopefully you guys can hear me. All right. Good morning. Good morning. It's 11:38 a.m. and the Pacific time zone here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. We're currently sitting at a temperature of about 85. Supposed to hit a high of 93 and sunny. Traffic and weather brought to you by Charlie Kirk. No, just kidding. Anyhow, guys, good to see you in here. I see Gin Up the Bass was first today, followed by Lynn, and then Mr. Spock, the man of the chicken. Michael McAndrews is over there in the corner burping. Hope you're all right. Michael says only 44 minutes to go, and then he hiccups. He's burping and hiccuping. I hope you're all right, Michael. Don't try the olive spread. It's been sitting out a while, so I don't recommend it. Yeah, there's Mr. Spock, the chickens. Aaron West is here. Hey, Aaron, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for helping out and modding, being a moderator. William is here. Hey, William. Hello. MJ Daniel from up there in Washington State is there. Thanks, everybody who's here. We got 58 watching, only 46 thumbs up. For those of you that might be new here, we don't like to operate like Republicans. We would rather operate like good Democrats. So right now we are at a deficit. So let's hit that thumbs up button and get us to at least a balanced budget, maybe even a surplus if possible. Like the good Democrats that I hope most of us are. AM is here. Jolie's here. All right, so we are at full mod capacity. I'm going to put my little meme that I found. I thought this was appropriate for today, since there's so much talk about all of this. Jimmy Kimmel stuff. The Disney website is experiencing crashes amid cancellations. Well done. And I have seen some of you guys posting stuff that you've canceled your Disney, anything Disney. And I do think that I think Jimmy Kimmel, I think I just saw a little thing where he is like suing. I don't know if is he suing Disney? I think he's suing Disney for $1 billion for breach of contract, I think, or something like that. So the plot thickens, or the thought plickens. I don't know where I was going with that. Hey, Roxanne79 is here. Hello, Roxanne. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us in the old driver's lounge. I do appreciate you. Now, the intro was pretty interesting today. Again, attacks on First Amendment going on. I think a little bit in there about how some people are getting maybe fed up with Trump. Maybe even some maggots. Maybe even some of the Republicans. Maybe they're, maybe, like I said yesterday, maybe this First Amendment thing is giving us some common ground, you know. And I'll take it. Sandy Foltz says, I'm first in the chat. Well, Gin Up the Bass might have something to say about that. Although, I don't know. Shouldn't have said that. Roxanne says, wrong, Sandy. Lynn up the. I almost said Lynn up the bass. Lynn says, Mr. Spock, I had an egg this morning that was almost all yolk from my brother's chickens. Very yummy. All right. Roxanne79 with the Hal Sparks raid. Thanks, Roxanne. Thanks for anyone who came over from Hal Sparks. We're just going to hang out. This is the hangout. Hanging out. Sometimes, you guys want to hang out. We can hang out. Talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. It's an open forum. Susie Jones is here. Hey, Susie, good to see you. This is like number 17. Thumbs up. Sandy Fosa, the $2 super sticker. Thanks, Sandy. Yippee. Going out to Sandy. I do appreciate you. Thank you so much. Helps the show. Helps keep us going and keep the lights on. All that good stuff. MJ Daniels says, of all the Republicans, I did not expect Cruz. He must have finally read the room. Yeah, he's an opportunist, But yeah, that kind of perked my ears up when I heard that too. Gin up the bass, says Trucker John. Can you please let the record reflect that Gin up the bass was in fact first in the chat today? Well, I did start the show off with that, so I think I did. A former FBI special agent in the chat is trying stolen valor, and I won't take it. Anyhow, I already did mention that you were first, and I believe, well, we'll see. MJ Daniel says, yes, Republicans, you really think you're safe from all this, or safe from this? Sweet Millicent Carbuncle is here. Hey, Sweet Millicent Carbuncle. I don't believe I've ever seen you before, so welcome to the Driver's Lounge. Thanks for coming on in. I hope you'll stay a while and hang out. Sweet Millicent Carbuncle says, Kimmel has as much right to his First Amendment as Kirk did. Absolutely. DPD 5844 is here. Hey, DPD, good to see you. DPD says, how do we keep the momentum going when 95 Democrats voted in support of Charlie Kirk holiday? Makes it fucking make sense. I don't see how that's going to slow momentum. I mean, I'm not sure what momentum you're talking about as far as like the First Amendment momentum that we're getting. Look, it's a. I think the whole memorial, or what is it? Is it a holiday? Is it an actual holiday? Whatever it is, I don't know. That's almost like a damned if you do, damned if you don't type of a thing. And it almost looks petty to me if you vote against it, I think. Now, I did see, I think it was Jasmine Crockett. I don't know if she's actually filed this or whatever they do, you know. But I think she was talking about introducing a bill for a Melissa Hortman. See, I think it's Day of Remembrance. I don't think it's an actual holiday. I don't think the Charlie Kirk thing is an actual holiday. I think it's just a Day of Remembrance. If it's an actual holiday, that would be different. A Day of Remembrance is just really, it means nothing. It's very ceremonial. I mean, I know I'm going to catch a lot of flack for this, but I don't give a fuck. From you hardcore, you hardliners or whatever. But I mean, look, you've known that I'm no fan of Charlie Kirk and what he stood for. But the Day of Remembrance, big deal. Let him have it. I don't give a fuck. Now, I guess you could say it would have passed even with I guess it would have passed without the Democratic votes because they have the majority. The Republicans have the majority. So I guess it would have passed regardless. But I don't know. I think it's being blown out of proportion about how important it is. I don't think it's going to do anything for the momentum, whatever momentum we've got. Do we have momentum? I mean, we have the only momentum I see is that Democrats are winning special elections right now, and winning in places that carried Trump, and we've flipped some seats already. We're getting very close to getting back the majority of the House, even before the midterms here, the way things are going. And I don't think this Day of Remembrance or whatever is going to have anything. It's not going to affect it in one way or at all. It won't affect it at all. In my opinion. Look, like I said, I'm no Charlie Kirk fan. And there's a difference between going to the funeral or holding the funeral and all that shit. And there's a difference between actually trying to make a national holiday, which is a whole different thing. And there's another thing. They do these Day of Remembrance things. The Congress does that shit all the time. They do that shit all the time. Little things like that are really easy to do. They're easy to pass, and they really don't have a whole lot of significance. At least in my opinion. Not overall, not on the national picture. Like all the people that are Charlie Kirk fans, they'll I guess what are they going to do? Have a barbecue on that day? I don't know. Someone posted on my Facebook page my progressive radio station list. You guys should check it out. It's a good page on Facebook. The progressive radio station list. That's my page on Facebook. And someone, and on the feed, because on the feed you just get, Facebook just puts all this stuff that I guess they think that is appropriate or whatever. I don't know. And I get a lot of right wing shit on there. And there was this one from some organization, I don't remember, but they were like promoting the Day of Remembrance on October 14th, I think. And they're like, we'll be. It was like a meme, like we'll be remembering Charlie on October 14th or something like that. So in the comments, I wrote under the progressive radio station list name, I just wrote, "Oh yeah, I can't wait to not give a fuck on that day," or something like that. So whatever. It's a day that we can just not give a fuck. I don't see it as I don't see it as a big deal. I really don't see that as a big deal that Democrats voted for that. You've got to pick your battles, people. We can't fucking get blog down on every goddamn little thing. And this is one that I think is so insignificant that I think I can just move right past it. And let's move on to something else. Let's put our energy on something else. And also now this gives the Democrats some ammo, I guess, or it's probably not a very good analogy or whatever. But if Jasmine Crockett introduces in this, I don't even think it's a bill. I don't think they call it it's not a bill. This is not a law, but they introduce whatever they call it to have a Day of Remembrance for Melissa Hortman, and then all of the Republicans vote no on that. Then that's something that we can say, look at these motherfuckers. Look at these hypocrites. Look at these assholes. We voted for a Day of Remembrance. We showed our respect. Day of Remembrance for a person who was brutally murdered. A person who was, a right-wing conservative activist that was brutally murdered, and we showed our respect by saying, yeah, we'll have a moment of remembrance or whatever for this guy. But then when we had this person who was a Democrat, who was not only an activist but an elected member of the Minnesota state legislature, was brutally murdered, and we just want to have a Day of Remembrance for that person. And they all said no. Well, I don't know if they're going to say no because I don't think there's been any vote on that. But if they all vote no, then that gives us a cudgel to fucking hammer them with. It's called politics, folks. You don't get everything you want in politics. It's not this purity police thing has got to stop, and this one issue shit's got to stop. You got to look at the big picture. You got to look at the big fucking picture, man. Anyhow, back to the chat. Susie Jones is here. Susie says that ballroom is illegal. No demolition of the original building can be demolished. It's on the Historical Society as a historical site, rebuilt on the exact footprint when the French burnt it down. Was it the French that burned it down? I thought it was the English when they came back in the War of 1812. I thought those were British soldiers. that lit the White House on fire. And was it burnt to the ground? I don't remember it being burnt to the ground. I thought it was damaged, but what? Maybe maybe my history, my remembrance of that might be all fucked up. I don't know. Yeah, Aaron West says super chat goal is up. Let's fucking go. Teresa TAK is here. Hey, Teresa, good to see you. Thanks for joining us in the old driver's lounge today. I do appreciate you coming on in. Luck Dragon's here. Hey, Luck Dragon. Jackie's here. Hey, Jackie. Good to see Jackie in the lounge today. I'm just going down the chat here real quick, seeing who's in the driver's lounge. Barefoot Bear's here. Hey, Barefoot Bear. Good to see you. Let's see here. This isn't who you think it is. It says, obviously Trump is odious and a cretin, but let's be honest, ABC didn't want to pay. No, come on. Trump told his FCC guy what to do. Disney, who owns ABC, they've got a bunch of mergers in the pipeline, and Trump made it clear that those would be in danger of getting through if they didn't fire Jimmy Kimmel. That's what it was. So if you can't see that, then you're blind. Michelle's here, says the Republican Congress doesn't believe in freedom. Freedom! Freedom! They only believe in just stuff for them, not for the rest of us. This isn't who you think it is. Says, does the View have big contracts coming up that their bosses don't want to renew? I don't know, Wes. This isn't who you think it is. Wes, you're hilarious. Look, they're going to go after people that Trump doesn't like. That's the thing. That's the bottom line. This isn't who you think it is. Says late night shows have been hemorrhaging money for a decade. ABC is using this as a smokescreen. And I don't even know if that's true or not. The Republicans seem to think that's true. Trump will say that, and I've heard some Republican Congress people say that. Does that make it true? I'm not going to give this isn't who you think it is too much more time. It's just hogging up everything with this bullshit. Wes, but that was Wes. Wes is hilarious, though. Lug Dragon says, I've been following Seneca Project and Mayday for a very long time, and for some reason I got blocked from Mayday? They probably blocked you for your excessive overuse of question marks. That's my predict. That's my estimate or guess or whatever. Look, Dragon, but I watched the entire show anyway. MJ Daniel says, what I know is that the entire Republican Party is out of control, dangerous for the USA, and needs to be voted out for the safety of every American. I agree. Absolutely. The Republican Party is not good for the American people, for the Constitution, for the Republic, for freedom and justice. And the Republican Party does not represent any of that. None of that. Laney's here. Hey, Laney, good to see you. Says America is in real trouble. Unbelievable. We are totally in big time trouble. We're hanging on by a thread. We are hanging on by a fucking thread right now. Roger Dodger, Texas Paul, thumbs up. Yeah, that was. I guess I'm still in the intro as far as the chat is concerned. Sweet Millicent Carbuncle says, "I do not support tyranny or MAGA." Me either. Look, Dragon, I am absolutely serious. There is not a mod. I think it's because sometimes my phone repeats and they might have thought I was a bot. I think I've accused you of that on here because that does happen. That has happened with your repeats. Laney said I unsubscribed from his streamer in LA because he said Charlie Kirk was a good man. Yeah, and he was not. Charlie Kirk was a piece of shit. Okay, I think what happened to him was horrible and wrong, and I'll stand by that. It was horrible and it was wrong. But Charlie Kirk, at the end of the day, was a piece of shit, and all you got to do is go back and look at all his shows and all the clips of him saying all the racist and bigoted things, transphobic and homophobic things, and over and over and over and over again. It wasn't like just a slip of the tongue or he said something wrong. No, this is what he believed. This was the message he was putting out there. And I think Texas Paul is right that in the wake of his death, and because I see it more on my Facebook feed than anything, and in Instagram too. But it's the same people, the same family and friends that are just posting all this stuff about Charlie Kirk and how it's sad and it was horrible, and it was. It's sad. It is horrible, but they it's part of the whole canonization of Charlie Kirk. This almost deifying him, and I don't think that a lot of these people actually listen to Charlie Kirk. I really don't. I mean, there's a lot of people that did, but at least my family and friends that are posting all this stuff about Charlie, they're just posting stuff about when he says, because a lot of my family and friends they're Christians. They're some of them evangelical Christians, and they just post the stuff where Charlie is saying that he gave his life to Christ and he became a Christian, and that he believes in leading people to Christ. And that's the clips they're playing. They're not playing the ones where he says, just horrible things. Didn't he say like gay people should be put to death or something like that? They're not playing those. And he's saying the black people are inferior and intellectually inferior to white people, stuff like that. They're not playing those clips. They're just playing the ones where he said that he gave his life to Jesus. That doesn't mean that they're right or anything like that, but I think they're just ignorant to what Charlie Kirk was really all about. MJ Daniel says the Catholic Cardinal went on Fox to lie like a motherfucker about Kirk, and I think he needs to have a long private talk with the Pope about what he said. It was disgusting. Yeah, because I think the Pope has come out and put some things in there that were kind of shining a light on what Charlie Kirk was really about. AM says, hello, TJ, and my fellow loungers. I hope you have a great weekend. Hello, AM. Back at you there. Robin M's here. Hey, Robin, good to see you. Says that one dude was way out of line, TJ. Hi, TJ, Teresa, and Julie. I think we were talking about the like those ICE officers, or I guess they were ICE or whatever, that pushed the lady down. That was horrible. I almost started crying, that poor lady, as I was watching it. It was horrible. This is how it was kind of that one dude that kept doing it. And I just kept thinking like, this is who they're hiring. They're hiring dudes that have that are probably just abusers. They just abuse women. Wife beaters and shit. That's what they're hiring. They're like, yeah, that fits right in with what we need, I guess. Sweet Millicent Carbuncle says, if we cannot criticize Trump, there should be a roll video of his own word. If we cannot criticize Trump, there should be a roll video of his own words. We can do that either way, whether we can criticize him or not. Robin M, I can hear you. So that must be when I first came in. That's how far behind I am in the chat, guys. Just so you know. All right, what's going on here in the chat? Jim's Base, Sugar John, olive spread. I don't know what tapenade is. I was just trying to come up with something funny off the top of my head about Michael McAndrews burping and hiccuping. All right? Michael McAndrews, I don't catch all the things in the chat myself. Sometimes might miss a hello. Oh, hello, I think he meant. A hello. Dang keyboard. Dang keyboard. Yeah, I get it. By the way, happy birthday again. I know we're a day after, but still, you deserve an extra happy birthday. I believe. Jen at the base says 67 and sunny here in Portland, Oregon. It's 420 all day, and rest in peace, Portland. Have you guys dug out of the crater yet? Apparently Portland was burned to the ground, according to Trump, a few years ago. Sweet Millicent Carbuncle says, I am an Lawworks and sadly boycott Disney. I don't know what that means. Don O'Leary's here. Hey, Don, good to see you. It's a 72 here in Minneapolis. Farm Aid Today with Dave Matthews, Mellencamp, Dylan, Neil Young, and Willie Nelson. So that sounds pretty cool. That sounds really cool. DBD 5844 says we need to organize a national strike. We need to shut America down completely. I know. I've been calling for that kind of shit. I've called for that kind of shit a lot of times over the years, and no one listens to me. I mean, even when I've heard when I was truck driving, and truck drivers would be complaining about they're not paying us enough and they don't appreciate us and all this kind of stuff. And I'd be out on the CB or I'd be on a chat room or something, and I'd say, well, let's do it. If we all park our trucks, I guarantee within 3 days we'll get whatever we want. But you can't just have 20 trucks pull over. You got to have every goddamn truck, or maybe not everyone, but a really good percentage of the trucks to do that. And the same way with the national strike, you would have to have a really big chunk of the population do it. I'm thinking like 30 or 40% at least. Paul Sharkey Mannion's here from across the pond, and I think it's really hard to do in America, as opposed to say France, which is like it's about as big as land wise, it's as big as Utah or something. I don't know. I'm not sure, but so they've got one. This one chunk of land to organize. We're spread out 3,000 miles, and 2,000 miles basically, or 15 or whatever, spread out. We have all these different states, all these different things. It's really hard for us to organize something like that. But, with the internet, you can get the message out. I do think that something like that, a national strike. But what are we striking for? And then we have to make sure that was one of the problems of like Occupy Wall Street and the 99% groups. I think they were making some headway, but there was a lot of people kind of going in different directions. I think we need to have like sort of like one main goal. If we had a national strike, would it be what, to impeach Trump? Would it be to not raise our taxes? On the common people. I mean, what are we striking for? I mean, we have to have a common goal, a common message, I think. Margaret Nobbs is here. Hey, Margaret, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in to the old driver's lounge. I do appreciate you coming on in. Margaret Nobbs says freedom of speech is the canary in the coal mine. If it is silenced, then you are in trouble. Because where will it? Because now I'm talking. I'm so now that was the end of Margaret's post. So now I'm talking. Yeah. So because where does it go? Where does it go from there? Right. If we lose the First Amendment, then everything else it'll be like a domino effect. I think is the point. So yeah, let's not let that happen. I guess that would be. Would that be the national strike? To that, I know we have to have a common. We have to know what we're striking for. Are we striking to keep our rights, our First Amendment rights? Roger Dodger says it took my friend 3 hours to finally be allowed to cancel her Hulu subscription Friday. It kept crashing and said they were experiencing technical issues. I did see someone posted where, I guess on the Disney site, the I guess the link or the button to cancel had been removed, and then people were having to, I think, actually like call in or something in order to cancel. So yeah, Disney, they're getting fucked hard. They're getting fucked hard if they're resorting to those tactics. Michael McAndrew has never lived in a dictatorship before. It's weird. Yeah, this is not. It's not the way it's supposed to be. MJ Daniel says canceling a show is the right of a private company unless the U.S. government and FCC uses force to make them. That is against the U.S. Constitution. And I would say definitely, without a doubt, Donald Trump used the FCC to pressure ABC and Disney, and they fell for it. And all because of their bottom line. Disney is worth who knows how many hundreds of billions of dollars, and with all their companies they have, who knows, they might be worth $1 trillion. I don't know. So they're afraid they can't buy the NFL channel or whatever, the NFL network. Like they don't already have enough shit, and they're not already making enough money. They're so afraid that the merger or the buyout of the NFL network isn't going to go through. So they're going to capitulate to Trump because of that. See, that's the whole thing about corporations and this like fiduciary duty to the stockholders is bullshit, because that's what they'll use. That's what Disney will use as an excuse, that they had to comply. They had to bow to this pressure as a fiduciary duty to their stockholders. That's what they'll say. They're probably already saying it, but I think it's bullshit. There's got to be some sort of escape clause from that. That can't be just a blanket thing that they just throw on everything. A blanket excuse, because they always use that. Paul Sharkey Mannion says, as we speak, hundreds of people are dying in Palestine and in the Ukraine. Yeah, you're right. There's all kinds of horribleness going on. People starving to death in Palestine because Netanyahu won't let aid through, and is leveling Gaza. And of course, Ukraine and Putin. Illegally invading Ukraine, with no provocation whatsoever from Ukraine to start this thing. Susie Joe says the merger is illegal anyway. I don't know. Damon Dog, the big dog's here. Hey, Damon Dog, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. I do appreciate you coming here. I saw some of your videos on your glass pipes. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. But not stupid. I said not stupid. Thomas Walker's here. Hey, Thomas Walker, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in to the old driver's lounge. I do appreciate you for sure, for sure. Roxanne79 says, happy birthday, Rosanna. Thanks for celebrating with us. I must have skipped it. Did I skip Rosanna? I didn't mean to skip Rosanna. There's Rosanna. Rosanna says, Roxanne and Jen Howdy, Nordis, and I are celebrating my birthday today, tomorrow, Monday, and Tuesday. Well, happy birthday, Rosanna. I'm not sure if today's your birthday or tomorrow's your birthday. Wait. Oh, yeah, birthday tomorrow. Today, tomorrow. Okay, I'm still confused. But in any case, I'm just going to say happy birthday. And it's going to hit on one of those days. Hey, some people take a whole month to celebrate their birthday. So happy birthday to Rosanna. Rosanna. Happy birthday, Rosanna. I was trying to get a little bit of Rosanna tune in there, but I don't know if I did or not. Skip it on down. In the chat a bit. Genevieve Shodron, that politics bitch, Frank Reynolds. I have no idea what that's about. I have skipped down a lot of chats, so it may be a mid-thread thing. I have no idea what that's about. Damon Dog, I'm pissed about the loss of 200-year-old trees. Yeah, I heard that too. That's fucked up. That's totally fucked up. But Trump doesn't give a fuck. It just shows again how Trump has no, he doesn't care about anything other than himself. Just another reason for us to hate Trump. Like he needs any more reasons. Sandy Fold says, my furniture came today and I had sent pictures to your email. Oh, I haven't checked it out yet, Sandy, but I'll check that out. Sandy sends me emails. I have that. My email address is located in I think in the more, if you push more. Well, it's not in there. I don't know. If you go to the channel, the channel page, landing page for my channel, for the Trucker John channel. There is an address in there. I think it might be Trucker John livestream at gmail.com. If you guys want to send me a picture of your furniture or whatever, feel free. I'm also on Substack, and I published my first Substack yesterday. It's very short. It's just a couple of paragraphs. I was just kind of checking it out, because I've never done one before. So if you guys are on Substack, I do have just a little 3-paragraph thing that I published on Substack. Maybe I might do some more of those, but of more substance. Something of more substance, something, an actual article, Damon Dog says ABC and Disney have lost billions in market share. Seems bending the knee is not very profitable. Yeah, fuck around and find out, motherfuckers. I don't know if they thought they were going to get this much backlash over according to some, a like struggling show that was tanking in the ratings and losing money. Well, now Disney's gonna lose a whole lot more money with all these cancellations. And people aren't just canceling like, Hulu or the streaming service. People are canceling everything Disney. People are canceling trips and cruises and anything with a Disney name on it. People are canceling it. So I hope Disney ends up losing $1 billion out of all this. Like we say, hit them in the pocketbook. Vote with your feet. Vote with your spending. Vote with your pocketbook and your feet. Somehow your feet are involved. Michelle's here. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. We got Donald Leary here, and as I'm skipping down here, Steven Sayers is here. Hey, Steve, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. The old driver's lounge. I does appreciate you. DPD 5840 says Moses Mike Johnson has given the word for the House or the Senate to show up on September 29th and September 30th. So there will be no negotiations, which means October 1st, the ACA tax credits will expire and premiums will rise. That would be a good thing to do a national strike about, maybe. Yeah. See, folks, when are you, and I know most of you in the chat this doesn't apply to you, but you out there in the world or in the rest of the country of America, United States, when are you going to learn? The Republicans aren't for you. They don't give a fuck about you. Now they're going to raise your fucking medical costs, your healthcare costs, exorbitantly. You're not going to be able to afford it. And then a lot of you, and I'm talking to you Republicans out there, and then you're going to blame Democrats somehow. This is purely a Republican thing. This is purely coming down from Donald Trump. You stupid motherfuckers. You're your own worst enemy because you vote against your own best interest all the goddamn time. And you know what? And I wouldn't really give so much of a fuck if it only affected you, but it affects all of us. You stupid fucks. I am so sick and tired of these goddamn maggots that keep voting for Republicans, and then we get fucked over. Then we all get fucked over. Hey, here's Butch Zamora. Don't think I've seen Butch in here before. Thanks for being here. Butch says, I totally agree. Charlie Kirk is a piece of shit. Just want to magnify that. Well, he was a piece of shit. He's no longer a piece of shit. I don't know what he is now. A decaying corpse is all he is now. Sandy Foltz says the Bills are now 3-0. Yep. With that win on Thursday night against the Dolphins. Yep. We talked about that yesterday. Damon Dog, want to piss off a Charlie Kirk fan? Quote Charlie Kirk. Yep. And that's the meme that I had also. Is it still in there? I've got the one about the school shooting. That's the only school shooting they ever care about was that one. I guess I don't have the one like Damon just kind of quoted there. But it was very similar to that. Thomas Walker says the news reported a person with a gun at Kirk's memorial, kind of like the follow-up about another person with a gun at a golf course after the shooting of Trump's. I didn't hear about that. I have not heard about that. So yeah, I haven't heard anything about someone with a gun. Victor Harshman's here. Yeah, again, talking about things that Charlie Kirk said. Victor Harshman said, and we're talking about Charlie Kirk, Civil Rights Act should not have been passed. Yeah, so he was against that. Butch Zamora says Charlie Kirk twisted the Bible verses to justify his Trumper allied debate. His allegiance is to Trump, not to Jesus Christ, as a real, genuine Christian should. Paul Schreigemanian, Mr. Kirk doesn't deserve any credit. Shithead. Damon Dog says we probably know more about Kirk than his fans, or at least some of these. Like, there's diehard fans, but the ones that at least the ones that I'm seeing that are doing all of this, memorializing Charlie in such a good light. I don't think they ever really heard all that shit. The shit that you guys are quoting right now. Black Dragon. Kiss fans are better than Kirk fans, just saying. Absolutely. Susie Jones says Stephen Miller is a monster. I can't not look at that guy and not get creeped out. The guy just gives me the instant creeps. He is such a creepy little fucker. You know? Yeah, MJ Daniels says, how much you want to bet that prick that kept knocking that woman down in the video that we played? How much you want to bet that he was a Jan 6er? Exactly, MJ Daniel. That's exactly, yeah. I would put money on that. Butch Morris says, looking forward to the removal of the pedo in the White House. Paul Schregerman says, are you not talking to me anymore, TJ? I love you anyway. I was talking to you. I don't know. I said hi. Didn't I? I said hello, and I've read a couple of your posts. I can't read it. Sometimes I got to skip down because, I got to skip down in the chat. I can't read every single post. Otherwise, I would be 45 or an hour behind. But I have. That's like the third post of yours that I've read, so I'm not ignoring you. Luck Dragon says, I'm sorry there is not one live stream I can get enough without mentioning Ozzy Osbourne, so here it is. Yeah, there it is. All right, so you've mentioned Ozzy. That's good for you. Okay. Ozzy? Ozzy? Roxanne79 is making a turkey sandwich. Now I want a turkey sandwich. Now I'm getting hungry. Damon Dog says, yep, Luck Dragon, I'm way more upset about Ozzy than I would ever be about a hate-mongering podcaster. Oh, yeah. That's not even close. It's not even close. I'm way more upset and sad about Ozzy's passing. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not than Charlie Kirk. Well, that, yeah, it's not even close, man. And I thought I saw somebody walk by the window there. Victor Hartman says, we live near Portland. The city has cleaned up a lot. They have done a good job taking care of the homeless problem. I used to drive through there a lot as a truck driver, just on the Interstate 5, and used to see, like homeless encampments right off the freeway and under the overpasses and stuff. So yeah, but it's not just Portland. I mean, every city that I drove through has big homeless populations, I guess you'd say. For some reason, my eyes are going on me. I need to go get an eye exam, get a new prescription on my glasses. Although these are just reading glasses, but my prescription glasses are over there. But seems like I can read this better with these. So I don't know. I need to get it. I definitely need a new prescription. All right, so I am skipping down. So if I skip some of your chats, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's only because we're really behind in the chat. Stephen Sayer says it's hard to believe that a nation built upon immigration has such a lousy policy on immigration. It is. We do, and I think we do have a history. Not to let Trump and his goons off the hook, because they've taken it to a whole new level. But I think we have always had kind of a bad history of how we treat immigrants over the years, but not so much by the government so much. I'm not saying the government was perfect or anything, but I think we've had waves of immigrants come here because of things happened in their country, like the potato famine. We got all the Irish. We had a wave of Italians that came here, and whatever group comes in, they do seem to be, the brunt of some kind of bigotry from the people who are here, and I guess they see that as a threat to their jobs or whatever. So we do have that, but what's going on now is completely different. This is a president that is weaponizing everything that he can, everything at his disposal, and now that so we're seeing stuff that we really haven't seen done by the government. I think at least in our lifetimes. I mean, our government has done some horrible things. It's going to go to slavery, go to how we've handled the indigenous people, so like that. So we do have a bad history of how we handle things, but I think what we're seeing now we haven't seen probably in our lifetimes, as far as just, well, we've seen racial profiling, but by police officers, racial profiling is a thing. It's a real thing. It really exists, and we've had problems with that. But now we're really seeing it with ICE, and it's just right there. It's in everyone's face, and we see how they're just plucking people just because of their brown skin, basically. And we saw in the clips there about there was a guy that they shot and killed a guy, and it turns out he had no prior record, nothing, and ICE and Holman and everyone, they're trying to say that they're just going after criminals, trying to get the criminals off the streets, and this guy that they killed had no record whatsoever. And I'm sorry to say, but I think we're just seeing the beginning of that. It's going to get worse. This tension between ICE and the people in the streets, it's going to get ratcheted up, and there's going to be more people that are going to get shot, which is sad. Luck Dragon says, Las Vegas, come to America, take a gamble. It makes 100% sense to me. See, now I know why you get. Now I know why you get blocked from other websites, because your overuse of question marks. People don't like it, Luck Dragon. People don't like this overuse of question marks. It's got to stop. I think we should have a national strike about that. Stephen Sayers, do the right wingers want to kill the Constitution? I think they do. There was for years and years and years, from like Mark Levin and Michael Savage or whatever. I've always been hearing they want to have a constitutional convention and they want to like rewrite the Constitution. I don't think they like the Constitution, actually. Not if it applies to everyone. They only want it to apply to them, whoever they are. I mean, like whatever their point of view is. That's what they want it to apply to. David Dog says, "Thank you, John. Character pipes are next, starting with Stewie and Brian." Oh, from Family Guy, I guess it is, right? Nice. Don O'Leary is saying something at David Windler. Did I not say hi to David Windler? If I may have passed David, I may have skipped over David. David Windler says, strike goal equal Trump, Thomas gone. Oh, the strike. If we had a national strike. Okay. But, okay, yeah. Like we could have a national strike and we all demand that Trump be impeached and removed from office. Welcome, President Vance. But I'm not saying I'm against it. Sandy Foltz, keeping it local, a local issue to Sandy says. Sandy says people are trying to get the Niagara Falls mayor fired. He does not want to do anything for the city of Niagara Falls. Yeah, if you're the mayor of the city, you should be trying to do stuff for that city, right? Yeah. So I can understand that beef. AM says, I hope Jimmy Kimmel sues Disney for $16 billion. Yeah. Isn't that what Trump was suing the New York Times for, I think? Something like that. Luck Dragon says, Jimmy is getting suspended right now with pay. That's why he's not suing. Although, I didn't read the article. I don't have facts to back this up, but I thought I saw a headline where Jimmy was going to sue Disney for $1 billion. So we might have to look into that further and see what the deal is on that. DPD 5844 says, anyone who has ever studied history knows that you never capitulate to fascism under any circumstances. Right, because if you give an inch, they take 100 miles. Susie Jones says Kimmel was told he must apologize to Kirk's widow and donate millions to Turning Point USA. Not going to happen. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. Not going to happen. Not. Yeah, I heard that. And yeah, I'm pretty sure Kimmel said a no. He said, a what now? Roxanne79 says, that pisses me off about that 200-year-old tree. 2, it should be illegal to remove any of those trees or plants from the White House. It is trash house now. The white trash house. Stephen Sayers says, can we, as a National Democratic Party, sue Trump for treason? For treason. As a National Democratic Party, well, maybe. It might get thrown out. I don't know. But you got to bring the proof, bring the evidence, bring the receipts, as the kids say. All right, trying to skip down here and trying to, not be too far behind. Let's see. Marsha's here. Hey, Marsha, good to see you. Thanks for joining us in the Old Drivers Lounge today. I do always appreciate seeing you in here. I hope you're doing well today, Marsha. We've got my ask, M-I-A-S-K, me ask, my ask is here. Hey, good to see you. Thanks for being here. I don't know if I've seen you before, so I appreciate you. Tiffany C is here. Says protecting our planet and every species should be priority. Absolutely, absolutely, and I think we have a much better shot at that if we vote for Democrats. I'm not saying Democrats are perfect, and we're going to have on day one go all green or whatever, but and renewable on day one. But we have a much better shot at getting anywhere close to that if we vote for Democrats instead of Republicans. Because what do Republicans always do? They get in and they undo as much environmental protection as they can. They try to undo it. So stop voting for Republicans, people. Just stop it. Michelle says exactly, and mine too, Republican, and I voted Democrats. Victor Harshman says Medicare cuts from the big fuck bill don't start till after the midterms, or as I like to call them, congressional elections. Roxanne79 says, you should send him the videos you made, especially the music ones. I saw a couple of videos that Jen has. Are you talking about me? Sending me? I just watched 2 of Jen's videos a few days ago, and I thought they were pretty good, pretty interesting. Stephen Sayers says our poor children and grandchildren will have to deal with the packed Supreme Court. And there were so many times when going back, even the 2016 election and 2020 and 2024, how many times did I say right here, Trucker John said, elections have consequences, voting matters. And if for no other reason, vote for Hillary Clinton or vote for Joe Biden or vote for Kamala Harris, just to save our Supreme Court or to try to get our Supreme Court back. And people didn't listen to me. You guys didn't listen to me. Hey, Squirrel Girl with a 555 super chat. Thank you, Squirrel Girl. Yippee. There's your yippee. I just now got to it, so I know this was probably a while ago. Didn't mean to. It just takes me a while to scroll down to it. So, but I do appreciate you. So there's your thumbs up, and I give you a heart there. Thank you, Squirrel Girl. Thank you so much. Squirrel Girl says, thank you, Trucker John, for your show. Great show and awesome mods and chatters. Absolutely. It's the mods and the chatters that really make the show. That's you guys. Let's see here. Michael Boganger with $2 super chat. Thank you, Michael. Yippee. Going out to Michael. There's a thumbs up and a heart. It says, support your drunks. Just kidding. Yeah, okay. But thank you, Michael. I do appreciate you. You guys are awesome. Squirrel Girl and Michael, you guys are awesome. And thank you so much. Helping to support the show. Keep us going. And we are operating like good Democrats right now. I see we got 68 watching and 77 thumbs up. So we are operating at a surplus, and that's a good Democratic way. That's what Democrats usually do. Kim Chi is here. Hey, Kim Chi. Thank you so much for being here. The goddess Kim Chi. Kim Chi says, in quotes, if you don't see the racism in C. Kirk, you don't see it in yourself. End quote. Paraphrased. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. If you don't see okay. I don't know. Okay. All right. Okay. I was hoping that it would have been more of a direct Charlie Kirk quote, but we'll go with it. We're one with it. All right. I'm just skipping on down. Rosanna, $4.99 super sticker. Yippee to Rosanna. Thank you so much for that super sticker. $4.99. Hiya back at you. And it's almost like reverse birthday gifting or something. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. Help support the show. Let me go ahead and skip down a little bit here. Let's see. Everyone is saying hello to everybody. Looks like. Let's see. We've got D-Dast. I don't think I've ever seen D-Dast before, so thanks for being here. Appreciate you coming into the old driver's lounge. D-Dast is asking a question. D-Dast says, has anybody thought that nowadays anybody can put on army clothes on and a mask and a vest, which you can buy at any store, meaning, any army store weirdo can just grab a gun and do whatever. Well, that's the thing. I mean, that's what people are worried about with this supposedly ICE agents. I think there have been some reported cases of, or at least one or two, where someone did just that. They pretended to be an ICE officer or agent or whatever these guys are called, went and bought some gear, and I think grabbed a woman. And I don't know, I guess sexual assault. I don't know, if it was a full-on rape or whatever. I don't know. I just remember hearing that there has been a couple cases of that. So that's always scary and always something to think about. And yeah, so that's a big concern. A bit concerning. Absolutely. And that's why they're saying that, and for the ones we've been seeing that are, I guess, really are they're real ICE agents, but they're not the old school ICE agents that actually went through, years of training and had at least they had some requirements, more stringent requirements. Now, Trump has lifted all of that, and there's just been this flood of basically like Jan 6ers and white nationalists probably that have hired on, and with very little training and very low standards, and they're just grabbing people just based on their skin color. And that's awful. Damon Dog says, even my little city has a homeless encampment in the woods. The people around here call it Tick City. Lovely. Lovely. Tiffany C says, hey, TJ, got to get myself new something. Oh, glasses, I guess, too. Oh, yeah, okay. Because I was talking about my glasses. Look, Dragon says Kaepernick is sending, as in Colin Kaepernick, former NFL quarterback, the whole take a knee dude. Okay, Kaepernick is spending his own money on an autopsy for those two people found hanging in Georgia. Oh, I didn't know you were asking a question. I thought you were making a statement. I heard that too. I heard that too. I read or saw a post on that. I think he is, or at least one of them. I don't know about two of them. I don't know about both of them, but at least the one that was very suspicious, the black kid who apparently had broken arms or something and legs, and hanged himself. I think that's the one that for sure that he was paying for that autopsy. Oh, Victor Harshman. Trump administration scheduled Charlie Kirk Remembrance Day, October 14th, the same day as George Floyd's birthday. Oh, okay. So now I can see like an added sort of frustration on that, or being angered by that for sure. That's like a slap in the face. But getting back to originally, I don't think that's going to, like, for all the Democrats that if they voted for that, in the overall long big picture of things, I don't think it's going to affect like the midterms or anything like that. So I wouldn't get my panties too bunched up in a bunch up over that. But but it is fucked up though. I was just glad they didn't put it on October 3rd because that's my birthday. That's how self-centered I am. I was just like, woo, at least it wasn't on my birthday. What a self-centered prick I am. Put that in one of your sound clips, Jen. I'm not even going to say it again, so you're going to have to go looking for it now. Luck Dragon says, let me get caught up here. One guy dies in Utah, and now we have a national emergency? Utah is beautiful, but I'm from California. Is that bitch? Biatch? Probably biatch. Biatch is always the more acceptable. You can get away with calling someone a biatch much easier than you can if you call him a bitch. I don't know if he's called a national emergency off of that, though. Luck Dragon. He's done these remembrance things or whatever they're called. I don't think he's called a national emergency from that. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. Correct me if I'm wrong? I'm just going to start ending every sentence with a question mark. Just so that Luck Dragon will know how he sounds when he posts things. When you put question marks at the end of every sentence, that's how you're supposed to end the sentence. Your voice is supposed to go up. So when you put a question mark at the end of every sentence, that's what it sounds like. This was taught to us in 3rd grade, I believe. Maybe sooner. I'm not sure. I can remember everything. A long time ago, since I was in 3rd grade. I do remember something about question marks and how you raise it at the end of the sentence. DDAS says, Trucker John, please take a look at my comment, please, because it's something really serious. I think I read it. I think you posted it twice, and I read one of them. I read it once. I didn't read it twice. It was about the costume. It was about the putting on the gear, right? I did. I'm not on the road, DDAST. I'm reading the chat. It seems like almost every few days I have to go through this little spiel of how this works. When I'm reading chats, time does not stand still. Time goes on. And every time I stop to read a chat, which I don't mind doing, this is the basis of the show. I read your guys' chats. But if I read them, it's not as though time stood still. So every second that I spend reading your chat, and then if I go off on a tangent, kind of like what I'm doing now, that's more time. Time is not standing still. Time is going on. Time is rolling on. And as that's rolling on, people are entering more things into the chat. And, so by the time I get to the things that people are entering in the chat right now, right this instant, I'm not going to get to it until 15, 20, 30 minutes from now. It depends on how much I skip. That's why I skip a lot in the chat, because, like I said, otherwise I would be an hour behind. But that's how it works. That's how time works. It seems like we have people who don't understand time or question marks. But that's okay. See, now I just skipped. So I just skipped about 10 posts in the chat. Just now, I went like this, whoosh, with the chat on the screen. I just went like this, whoosh. This is what I mean. I have to explain myself because I don't know if people understand what I mean. When I say I'm skipping in the chat, that means I'm skipping a lot of posts. I'm just skipping down. I'm scrolling down. I'm scrolling, skipping, scrolling, however you want to say it. And when I just now did this, I just scrolled up past about 10 or 12 posts. I'm not reading those. I'm skipping them for brevity, I guess. In the interest of time, just so you know how this works. Sweet Millicent Carbuncle says Trump's mother was from Scotland, his dad's side Germany, wife Polish. Oh, thanks for that genealogy. McJet is here. McJet says they are really ramping up the fascism. Boy, are they. You got that right. Total fascists. McJet says that Trump bombed a third fishing boat. Now, I haven't heard of this one. This must have just happened. This has to be stopped. This is fucking murder. This is extrajudicial fucking murder. This now needs to go to the top of the heap. Well, right under Epstein. Epstein should be first, I think. But this needs to go to close to the top of the pile here. This is fucking ridiculous. This is murder. He's just out there, out and out murdering people, out there in plain sight for everyone to see. And no one's doing a goddamn thing about it. We need all the Democrats and to get as many Republicans as we can to get out there and get in front of this. This cannot keep going on. This is fucking murder. Well, he said he bombed a boat. I'm assuming there were people on the boat and that were murdered. But yeah, we'll have to look into that. But that has to stop. Marsha with a $1.49 super sticker. Thank you so much. Yippee to Marsha. I do appreciate you. With the kitty cat over there. Thank you, Marsha. Hope you're doing well today. So now I'm skipping down a little bit here in the chat. I just skipped a bunch of posts, guys. I don't mean to be mean. But like I said, otherwise I'd be an hour and 35 minutes behind in the chat if I read every single one. So I have to just sort of spin the wheel. It's like, you guys ever play roulette or the spin the wheel game? That's kind of what this is like. And I'm just plucking out chats. Stephen Sayers, though, with the $9.99 super sticker. Thank you, Stephen. Yippee! Going out to Stephen Sayers. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. With this funny cat doing something with fans. The fan dancing. Might be a fan dancer. Luck Dragon says, my niece is also a nurse and her name is Cassandra ? She is also 1 year old and lives in Arizona, so barely get to see her. Your 1 year old niece is a nurse? Wow, she must be brilliant. Your niece must be like even smarter than Doogie Howser. She's already a nurse at 1 year old. That's amazing, Luck Dragon. That's amazing. Wes Webb is in the car on the way to a party. Party, party, party. Party down, Wes Webb. Sandy Fold says, if someone had blocked me, why can they see what I'm saying on the chat? Then they probably didn't block you. MJ Daniel says, there are many who followed Kirk because of the bigoted, hateful things he said. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I didn't mean to suggest that there weren't. I just think that there's all of a sudden a lot of people that they just saw this young guy, and he's being labeled as a conservative activist, and he's got a 1 year old and a 3 year old and and his wife, young wife there, and then he was just tragically, horribly murdered. I think that touches at the heartstrings of anyone who's a decent human being. That touches at my heartstrings, but without knowing who he was and what he was about, they're just saying, like, rest in peace, Charlie, and all this stuff, and having him in glowing light and everything, so, but they don't. So some of those folks, they don't really know what a total, as we said before, total piece of shit the guy was. Hey, Paul Burrows is here. Good to see you, Paul. Thanks for coming on in. Paul says, yard sale, foot chain link panels for an extension to my cat's yard, my cat rescue. Are you at a yard sale buying the chain link? Is that what you're doing, I guess, for your cat rescue? D-Das says, thank you so much, John, for answering that question. It really was scaring me, to be honest. They're making it very easy for anyone to do that. Yeah, it is scary, and so that's why we got to make sure people have badges and names, and they shouldn't be wearing masks. In California, I know Gavin Newsom, I don't know if they passed it, but he wants to get passed a law where cops and ICE agents, officers can't wear masks unless it's very specific. There are some very specific times when they need to wear them, but other than these few things that are laid out in the law, what it is. So, but under most circumstances, they can't wear a mask. All of that. So, but the way things are, the way Trump is handling things, it does open the door for this type of abuse and for people to be able to imitate cops and then do bad things to people. Marsha says, hello, Paul Burrows. Those who rescue cats and dogs are awesome people. Thank you. So yeah, thank you, Paul Burrows. You're doing a good thing. Mr. Bob Newell's here. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you once again. Okay, I skipped down. I skipped a bunch of your guys' chats, but you've probably already read them, and you've probably already, commented and stuff. So, anyhow, Mr. Bob Newell, how about an impersonation that we all know? I don't know. Oh, thank you very much. Do you guys know that one? Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Who did I just do? If you guys know who I was impersonating, put that name in the chat. I'll do it one more time. Oh, thank you very much. Susie Jones says Kaepernick is a generous man and wants answers. Yeah, he's a good guy. Kaepernick is a good guy. You know, he basically gave up his NFL career for a worthy cause, to fight racism, basically. Damon Dog says, now use that high voice to say FKF, TJ. FKF? See, Damon Dog, I'm just your dance monkey. You say it, I'll do it. David Weiss says, TJ sounds like Stewie Griffin teasing Brian the dog about his novel. Jolie says, I thought the same thing. Sugar John, my birthday is October 17th. Just missed me. Yeah, it was a lot, and they were a lot closer to yours. Yeah. That's funny. My ex-wife's birthday is October 16th. Thomas Walker says, Blue Beam could be a missing people thing on a massive scale. Blue Beam. Oh, I'm not sure if that's about. That's about the impersonating officer thing or what. Set defaults. If you cancel some channels, you can still get charged. I guess if you cancel it like after the due date, well then I don't know. It seems like you should not get charged from that time forward. You know what I mean? Oh, do you know what I mean? David Grandperry, Texas. TJ just rolled over me. Yeah, I'm rolling over the chats. I rolled over your chat, probably, maybe, I guess. It says it's just the way it goes sometimes. Luck Dragon says, like I said, I'm from Oakland, California. Of course it was biatch. Oh, like you guys invented that or something. The whole biatch thing. Yeah, I'm scrolling. No, scroll them chats and scroll them. Just rope 'em time. Wait, Brandon rope 'em time. No, time rope 'em Brandon. Don't try to understand them. Oh, thank you very much. Victor Harshman says even Rand Paul thinks this is an international crime. Talking about blowing up them boats. This needs to be in the forefront, man. This is ridiculous. I mean, what the actual fuck? And it needs to be pointed out that what Donald Trump is doing is murder. Donald Trump's a fucking murderer. There, I said it. Steven Sayers, this is not the America I was raised in. It's totally fucked. Yeah, this is like no time that I've seen in my life, my lifetime. What we're doing now, and we've had some weird shit. You know, the '60s. I've talked about it before. It just was crazy. And even though I was born in 1960, so think of 1960 to 1969. So I was 0 to 9. But I remember the '60s. I remember that it was crazy. It seemed crazy to me as a 6 and 7 and 8 and 9-year-old, with all of the assassinations that were going on, and then the fucking Vietnam War, and just full blown fucking body bags coming home all the time. It was just crazy. It was and a little scary. Michelle says Mike Johnson needs to shut this down, but Mike Johnson is a total fucking Trump sycophant. So asking Mike Johnson to shut it down is like asking, come on guys, what's a good analogy? It's like asking, I don't know. I'm sure there's an analogy for that. You know what I mean? DPD 5844 says here in Ohio, the Ohio Teamster Union just endorsed VIVAC. Is that Mondami? Wait. Some people will just never learn ever why are people gluttons for their own demise. Oh wait, VIVAC must be something else. Something in Ohio. I apologize. I'm not up to date on what's going on in Ohio. Oh, hi, oh. Susie Jones says yes, a third boat was hit on 9/19, which would be yesterday, right? Wow, I didn't even hear about the third boat. Killing 3 people, bringing the total to 17. I think someone needs to send 17 murder charges against Trump. Just fucking do it. Fucking do it, man. Let's impeach him on that. I think that a president could be impeached for murder. Don't you guys think so? 17 counts of murder. Do it. Impeach his fucking ass. Okay, I am skipping again, guys. I'm skipping down again. Sweet Millicent McCarbuncle says, catch you on the flip side, Trucker John. Thank you for being here. You're probably already gone by now. I know I'm 20 minutes behind or whatever. I appreciate you coming in and hanging out. So I hope you come back. We'll be back again on Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So anybody who might be leaving, we'll be back here at 11 on Monday. Michael McAndrews said Elvis. Michael McAndrews wins the contest, which I guess gives you a yippee. That's about all I got. Yeah, it was Elvis. I think, unless, because I did skip down, but I believe Michael McAndrews was maybe the first and only so far to say Elvis. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, thank you. There ain't nothing but a hound dog. He does sleeping all the time. Robin N says Elvis in the house. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. DCast, Alex Jones, Thomas Walker, Elvis, Jolie Elvis. Well, the Bob Newell, I think it was, requested that I do an impersonation that everyone would know. So, that's why. Damon says Elvis has entered the chat. Luck Dragon says I usually use Trucker John and short memory exercise, but for some reason I am missing today. What? Now to do it like Luck Dragon, it'd be I usually use Trucker John and short memory exercise, but for some reason I'm missing today. Luck Dragon claims that when he does the question mark, he drops his voice. And I'm missing today. It doesn't make any sense. What are we talking about? Well, we're talking about your total misunderstanding of the question mark, how to say it and what it means. Apparently. Everyone's saying Elvis. Steve Sarin says Sam Kinison. No, Sam Kinison was more like just, or something. I'm in hell! Or something, just screaming. That's all he did, was scream. DJ says, left my ass up. It kind of sounded like him. Alex Jones sounds like that. I don't know. Alex Jones does not sound like Elvis. Or I did not, Alex Jones is more like, all right, guys, that's Alex Jones. Right? Sulfur was coming out of her mouth and now the flies. Or something like that. That's more like Alex Jones. Demi Dog, F equal fuck off in bird voice. Oh, fuck off. Oh, I get it. Did you just see the light bulb go off? Fuck off. Fuck off. All right, Damon Dog. I get it now. I get it. I wish I had a little effect where I could just go ding with a light bulb. Fuck off. Fuck off. See? Just need a little help. I just need, a little push in the right direction. Barefoot Bear Hal? You think that sounded like Hal? Oh, thank you very much. No, that doesn't sound like Hal. Hal just sounds like this. I don't know. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. No, I can't do Hal. Paul Burrows says if the Earth is the third planet from the sun, isn't every country a third world country? But Don O'Leary says October 3rd is also Suzanne F. birthday. Oh, Suzanne Foriasepi? What I think you're talking about? Susie Jones says ICE announced an expansion of the Boise office, cost $1.3 million. How many homeless shelters could we build with $1.3 million? How many little tiny home things could we build and put people in some sort of, at least some sort of housing, like tiny homes or little manufactured homes or something? Lug Dragon is doing some song lyrics there. I see all good people walking by, so satisfied. Yeah. That's yes, right? That was yes. I'm on my way. Let's see. D-Das says, yeah, I guess it's some singer he is imitating. I don't think it's Alex Jones. I'm laughing my ass off. Paul Burrows, I was born in 1954 and a boarding school survivor. Susie Jones, I like my ice crushed. Thanks, Lucky Dragon, by the way. Now I've got the Yes song in my head. And it won't go away. But it's a good song, at least. Yeah. All right, skipping down. I'm skipping down a little bit here in the chats. I'm not going to keep reading song lyrics, though. Olga Martinez is here. Hey, Olga, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Olga says that 47 administration is so evil it can destroy the happiest place as a concept. DDAS says the reason I was emphasizing the officers and mask thing is because when I was 8, it happened here in Europe, and it traumatized me. Now I still remember old man. Yeah, that's got to be pretty scary. to think like we're supposed to trust, our law enforcement. But then as we grow up, we find out that either A, there are people impersonating them, and B, there are some real fucking assholes that are in law enforcement. Notice I said some, I didn't say all. Just so I don't want someone coming back at me on that. Jolie sent 10 Trucker John gift memberships. Yippee to Jolie. Thank you so much, Jolie. I appreciate you. Thanks for doing that. That's pretty cool of you to do that. Very nice. Very nice of you to do that. And let's see. So we got Enlightened Angel, David Weiss, Stacy McCann, Jenny Faye Muppet, Lori King, Human F Being, Surrender Monkey, got one, Gator Tots, Barbara Ingro, Brenda Triplett. I haven't seen Brenda in a while. Got it. So thank you so much. Thank you, Jolie. I do appreciate that. So we got some new members. And guys, you can become a member. A great way to support the show is by becoming a member. And it just starts off at $1.99 a month. Very cheap, very I think very affordable, inexpensive. And you get, you just get to be a member of this thing here. And you get, I think with membership, I think you get some like emojis, things that I was calling them trucker emojis, that not just anyone can get. I think you have to be a member for that. If I remember how it works. Right now my eyes are doing weird things. I don't know why. My eyes are blinking uncontrollably. Yeah, thank you, Jolie. MJ Daniel says Jones sounds like an elephant seal with a cold. Damon Dog says perfect. I think that was my Alex Jones, maybe. It was perfect. Damon Dog, I have a new shirt with a raven that says fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off. David Weiss, Hal says Magoo. He does say Magoo. Magoo, yes. Make America Great over and over. That's what, in case you were wondering what Magoo stands for, is Make America Great over and over. And that's based on, Trumpy and his stupid rallies. And he was like, let's make America great over and over. Because he actually said that. We're going to make America great over and over. And that's when Hal goes, Magoo? I remember the day. I remember I was in the chat at the time. I was in the chat at the time. Roxanne79 says, good Alex Jones impression. Thank you. I'm not going to repeat it because I don't think I can repeat it. It was just it was like a one-time deal, man. I don't know why this is sort of out of left field, but Lucky Dragon says Foxy Brown dated Jay-Z before Beyonce. She was 17. He was 28. I get. I don't even know who Foxy Brown is. I don't know any of that. I don't keep up with those type of stories, I guess, apparently. But if so, that sounds pretty bad. Okay, I'm skipping down in the chat. Susie Jones says affordable housing starts at $1,556 per month for a 735 square foot one bedroom. Where's that at? Because that sounds expensive. Here in Las Vegas, I was paying for a one bedroom $865 a month for a one bedroom. Christina Weibel, where's Nick Rich? I don't know, he's doing stuff, I guess. I don't know. Hope he's all right, but he's probably doing some stuff. his own thing. All right, skipping down in the chat room here. Lots of people saying hello to everybody. Marsha needs to rest. Go get some rest, Marsha. Thanks for being here. Says everybody, if you have family that love you, please enjoy them while they're here. See you soon. Thank you so much, Marsha, and thank you for your support of the show and being here. And we'll see you on Monday. I'll be back at 11 a.m. on Monday. I'm caught up with the chat now, so I did skip some. Didn't mean to. Don't think that if I skipped it was anything personal. Just like I said, I can't read every single one, or else we'd be 75 minutes behind in the chat. Aaron West says that's cheap. My old 2-bedroom is being advertised for $1,200 a month right now. I have run out of coffee, so I didn't have any coffee this morning, and I'm afraid to even look at if the prices have gone up since the last time I shopped for coffee, which was just a couple weeks ago, I guess. 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I'm already out of coffee. So that sucks. So anyhow, we are over 2 hours. I should probably wrap this up, and I should probably get ready, and I should probably go to work today. Because I know tomorrow I'm going to be watching football, and I'm not going to feel like going to work, so I better make sure I go to work today. I was just looking on the TV, what's coming on. It's just on autoplay. I'm on YouTube, and it's got a bunch of the iHip shit going on. The iHip ladies are on my thing here. Rosanna's going to Fort Bragg tomorrow. Paul Burrow says $18 for coffee in Wallowa, Oregon. $18 for how much coffee? How much coffee are you getting for $18? Terrence Bunce says good afternoon. Gator Tots says no King's Day coming up October 18th. Right. So we'll be coming right off of our big Charlie Kirk Memorial Day, and we'll go right into No King's Day on the 18th. So it'll be a festive time. We'll be coming off of Jolie's birthday too, and my ex-wife's. But yeah, No King's Day, October 18th. If there's a event going on near you, you should check it out. Damon Dog says, be safe out there, Aaron West. Oh yeah, there's the thing about our memberships and super chats. Support the show by liking, subscribing, sharing, or buy me a coffee. There's the link for that. Thank you, Aaron, for putting that up. But yeah, membership's $1.99. It's a good deal. £1, $18 for a pound. See, I don't buy ground coffee. I know I do it probably the more expensive way because I use the little K-cup thingies because I have a little Keurig coffee machine. That's what I got. So that's what I use. That's what I buy. Now but the last one that I bought, it was a box of the Don Francisco. I've never had it before, but it was on sale. It was on like half price or something. That's why I bought it. But it was actually pretty good. And it's like a medium roast Kona. So maybe it's Hawaiian or something. I think it said Kona or something blend. Don Francisco's. I don't know if you guys have ever had it, but it was actually pretty good. So, and since I do most of my shopping on the Albertsons app, and I have them deliver it here, since I don't have a car, I just have them deliver it. I'll probably go on there, and if they have that Don Francisco's on sale or whatever, I might get that again because it was pretty good. Rosanna, $4.99 super sticker. Thank you, Rosanna. Thank you so much. Yippee going out to Rosanna. Was that another one? Was that your second one, Rosanna? Going crazy today. Going crazy, girl. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much for helping help the show out here and help us keep on going. Aaron West, I'm going to Vegas October 31st through November 1st. All right, Aaron West, we should go get a cup of coffee or something. Aaron, when you're here. Roxanne 79, I think TJ's wrapping up. If not, I'll stay. Yeah, I'm going to be wrapping it up here. D-Das, thank you, Roseanne, Roxanne. Let's see. Everyone's saying thanks and stuff. Alton Gillespie, howdy from Texas, all loungers. Yeah, Alton Gillespie there from Texas. Good old Texas. Let's get Texas on the right track. Vote blue over there. Susie Jones says, yippee. Thank you very much, I guess, Trucker John. And my lunch is ready. Got to go. All righty. Enjoy your lunch. Roxanne says, my YouTube just crashed. Don O'Leary says, more birthdays. Stephanie Miller, this 29th, and Hal Sparks, the 25th. And coincidentally, Stephanie Miller will only be turning 29. Just kidding. All right, guys. So that's about it for today. I think we covered a bunch of stuff. I think we sufficiently covered the proper use of the question mark. That's the important thing. Got a question here at the last minute. DPD 5844 says, Trucker John, do you think with Mariah Carey coming to Vegas for her Christmas, shows will boost the economy? No, nothing's going to boost the economy. The only thing that's going to boost the economy is when Donald Trump gets out of the White House, or I don't know if JD Vance is going to make it worse or not. But I guess the only thing that's going to help the economy is when we get another good Democrat in there, like Joe Biden. Like what he did to the economy. And I'm confident that no matter who we get in 2028, if it's a Democrat, because going by the history, our recent history, by recent history, I think we can go back 50 years of history now, or at least 40 or 45 years of history. We can show that Republicans fuck up the economy every time, and Democrats clean up their mess and get us going again. Barack Obama did it, Clinton did it, Obama did it, and Biden did it. They had to clean up Republican messes and turn us around and became huge job creators. They got inflation down, unemployment down, GDP up, over and over and over again. We've seen this cycle. It's every time. So the economy is not going to improve until we get Republicans out of power. Now, we might be able to stymie it or slow it down or something after the midterms, but that's 2 years away. No, that's a year away. That's a year away for the election. They take office in 2027, so in January. So the only thing maybe we can stymie or slow down the damage, but we're not going to really recover in any significance until 2029, when Democrats take back the White House, and hopefully we can have majorities in Congress. So we're fucked. We're going to be fucked for a long time. All we can hope to do is try and slow it down and maybe get some things to reverse. I don't know, but it's not looking good. But so all the Mariah Carey's Christmas shows in the world really aren't going to help. I'm sorry to say. Roxanne79 says, I'm going to binge watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia after this. Make sure you get... Now, you guys know the episode more than I do. I thought it was season 3, episode 3. But you guys know better than me. I don't even remember. I forget. But it's somewhere around there, I think, the one that I'm in. So you should probably just put that one on a loop. Put the one, The Gang Gets Invincible. Just put that on a 24-hour, 7-day loop. You know, that's the best one that they ever made. Anyhow, guys, thanks for being here. Dave Willard, we can't wait till 228. What can we do? Like I said, all we can do is win the midterm congressional elections, and we can hope to stop some things or slow some things down. But we're not going to have the White House until 2029. So all we can do is try to slow them down and be the obstructionists that they are to us. All we can do is obstruct and slow down. And we can, you know, because Trump's not going to sign anything that the Democrats put in front of him unless we have veto-proof numbers. Are you guys going to give us veto-proof numbers? Are we going to get 67 Democrats in the Senate? I think that's what we need for at least to override filibusters. Are we going to get veto? Are we going to be able to override a presidential veto? You know, like let's say in next year, Republicans take back the House and we get the Senate and we introduce legislation to overturn or reverse a lot of the shit in the big beautiful bill. You think Trump's going to sign that? Our only hope is if we have veto-proof numbers. I'm for it. Is the rest of America? And will our attempts at, you know, fighting gerrymandering, will that work? You know, the things that California is doing and other states have said they're going to do as far as the gerrymandering thing. Will any of that work? But yeah, I mean, I know everyone in this chat, we're all about voting blue, but what about the rest of the country? There's a lot of people that are so misinformed and disinformed and just willfully ignorant and who don't really give a fuck to keep involved. They might give a fuck enough to vote, but they don't give a fuck enough to have any involvement with the issues. And they just maybe vote because generationally their family voted Republican, or they might just vote because, you know, some stupid gamer thing that told them this or that or some, you know, it's just, I don't know what they base their information on. We got a lot of really both empathy. There's a lot of empathy or not empathy, apathy. Empathy doesn't exist according to Charlie Kirk. No, we have apathy. If we had more empathy, we'd be better. We have apathetic voters or people those are the ones that don't vote. So we have apathy and we have ignorance in abundance. We have plenty of that, plenty of apathy and plenty of ignorance. And that's not a very good winning combination. So I guess all we can do, all I'm trying to do in my one little thing is getting my 49 people watching. Sometimes we get 100, you know, sometimes we get 60 or 70 people watching on this show. And then with the replays, maybe we get a few hundred that will watch for a few seconds or whatever. I don't know. But I'm just hoping in my one little tiny little way, maybe I'll spark something in someone to go and vote or to look up issues or to give a fuck, you know, enough to I don't know, put the game control down and go look something up, or find out that that Democrats aren't, you know, putting babies in the blenders and drinking them like milkshakes or whatever. I mean, I don't know. Is that too much to ask? Christina Weibel says Newsom had a press conference today. Vote yes on 50. So I guess that's the proposition number that's going to be on the California ballot for the about the gerrymandering thing, the redrawing the lines and stuff. Yes on 50, absolutely. DPD 58, 54, and that's by the grace of God that we will have free and fair elections. Yeah. Let's hope for that too. David Dog, I am an apoplectic voter, very apoplectic. Now I got to go look up another goddamn word. DDAS, just don't give up, brother, and the channel eventually will flourish. I wish you the best energy from the universe because you seem to have a very good heart. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate the kind words. And yeah, hey, man, I'm plugging along. I mean, hey, we're at 4,050. We are rolling along. We keep growing little by little. We just hit 4,000, guys. Was it 2 weeks ago that we did the dandelion show? Because I ate the dandelion in celebration of 4,000. So we're already at 4,050. And I'm hoping that, like I said, we get people maybe thinking and involved, and instead of just, I don't know. A lot of people have, I don't know where they get their information. It's so out there. Being a cab driver and I did ride share for 2 years. I've heard a lot of people say a lot of weird shit, about politics, and I'm like, where in the hell did you get that? But anyhow, we'll be back on Monday. We'll talk more. We'll talk more about whatever's going on. Hopefully, we'll have some more updates on the First Amendment, if we still have it. If we still got it. Hopefully, Jimmy Kimmel will be okay. He's in the unemployment line now. He's going to be in the soup kitchen. No, I know that's not the point. I know he's very well off and he's doing fine financially. But yeah, but the point is, our First Amendment rights. Hopefully, we'll still have them. Hopefully, we'll have some updates on Epstein. Let's not let these Epstein files go. Get swept under the rug. We have to keep up on that. Let's just do whatever we can, man, to keep at it. I mean, I don't mean to be a doom and gloomer here with the elections and everything, but all we can do is all we can do. And I think doing the peaceful protesting, like No King's Day on October 18th, that's a big thing. I think there was a women's march today somewhere in Chicago or something. When I was scrolling earlier before the show, there was some live feed of a women's march today. Let's keep up on all these things. Let's support these things. Let's support the women's marches. Let's support the No King's Day. Let's support, the No Ice Day or whatever. Let's support these things, but let's do it peacefully. Don't take the bait. They want you to get violent. They want any excuse they can have to open fire on people or to beat them up and hit them and whatever. Don't take the bait. Be peaceful. March peacefully. I believe that's the way we should do it. And the bigger numbers we have out in the streets across America, the more that the oligarchs will take notice of that. They get nervous about that shit. They do, I believe, because they know that they are outnumbered, and that if we, the people, oh shit! Did you guys hear that? What the fuck was that? Did you guys hear that? It was like an explosion. I don't know what that was. What was that? What blew out? Oh, wow. Oh, up there? That was an AC? You okay? Oh, yeah? Man, that was loud. That scared the heck out of me. I gotta close my door. Flies are coming in, but hope everybody's okay. They said somebody's air conditioning unit blew up. I didn't know air conditioning units could blow up. I mean, I don't see it. You guys are probably going, why are you just sitting down? Why don't you go and helping people and dragging? I mean, it's, there's no, like, it doesn't look like there's any damage or whatever, but everybody was, I saw, for the first time, I've seen people who live here. There's like at least a half a dozen people that all came out to investigate. But apparently someone's AC unit like blew up or something. All right. I don't know if you guys heard that or not, but that was weird. So what was I saying? I was saying something about We the People, and then that happened. I just kind of wanted to finish that thought about We the People, and I don't even know where I was at with that. What was I saying? About peaceful protests and all that kind of stuff. And something about like if we the people, okay, if we the people ever stop fighting each other, arguing with each other, and being at odds with one another, and we ever come together, right and left, and everyone in between, and we come together as one cohesive group, that's what the oligarchs, that's what the top 1/10% are scared shitless about. And I saw a little bit of that fear during the Occupy Wall Street. I saw the fear in their eyes. I saw the fear in Jamie Dimon's eyes. They want us to fight one another. That's what all this MAGA shit is about. It's about keeping us fighting each other. If we ever learn how to come together, and that's why I was talking about earlier about there's an overlap about this First Amendment stuff. There is an overlap between right and left, and so maybe that could be the cause. Maybe that could be the issue that brings us together, right and left and middle, and that's what might get some things done before elections, before getting the House and the Senate back, and before getting the White House, because those are years and years away. But something that will happen really quickly is if we all come together, right and left and everybody, and we stop fighting with each other, and we turn our anger and our attention towards them, and we start blaming them, the oligarchs, the top 1/10%. With that, I'll leave you guys thinking about it. I got to go. Thank you guys so much for being here. I will see you guys again on Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. If you're new here, I hope you come back. If you're old here, I hope you come back. And we'll see you then. The only thing left is the words of wisdom. So for today's words of wisdom, let's make sure you get a pad and pencil out there. And again, just want to say thanks to everybody. And I want to say thanks to everybody too. You guys are awesome. Thanks for coming by. I also do a little bit of maintenance work. I gotta go. Apparently someone's AC just blew up. So I'm out of here. But I just wanted to say hi real quick before I go. Trucker John, where's my toolbox? Hey, yeah, Tough Cookie. It's under that shelf over there. Just grab it. You can go. Anyhow, guys, thanks for being here. I just wanted to say hi real quick. Vote purple. Purple Nurple. No. Vote blue. But yeah, thanks for being here, guys. You guys are awesome. And stay safe. Stay safe. If you do go out and march and protest, keep it peaceful. And I hope to see you out there. I think I'll be out there with my purple beard at one of the rallies, one of the marches. All right. Until then, see you guys later. All right. So again, thank you guys very much. Make sure you guys subscribe, and if you want to be a member, do that too. It's a really cool thing to do. Okay. So now, words of wisdom. Get your pen and paper out and write this down. Okay. So for today's words of wisdom. What I just wanted to say is that make
Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. We'll have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes. Might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes. But if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant. But I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid. But doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win. Right here on the Trucker John live stream. No, this time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. Don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again.
Rolling down the highway in my rusty old rig. I'm a retired trucker, but my spirit's still big. Living in Vegas, where the lights never sleep. Broadcasting my thoughts for the world to keep. From politics to pop culture, I've got it all. Sharing my views, no matter how big or small. Talking about food, the movies and bugs. Shining a light on all the social issues. No shows, I've driven through the desert, seen the city so bright. But now I'm living
from my apartment in Las Vegas. I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. For free. So you want to take a trip down Paradise Road, but it ain't that pretty, it ain't paved with gold. Everybody's got the dirty little secrets, everybody's got some things unknown. But if you ain't real careful, baby, it'll cut you down to the bone. Under all those bright lights, gotta learn to ignore the glitter. It's all about fight or flight, you don't wanna do either. So go on down to Paradise Road, it'll make you wish that you were young. But all it'll do is make you feel old and regret trading in your love for lust. It's all just a big charade, it's all just one big game, and it ain't about love. It's all about the thrills, it's about staying in the hunt, it's about going in for the kill. So head on down to Paradise Road, that's where your friends are now. They're the people that nobody knows, so go ahead and make your big show. So live it up on Paradise Road, just don't let anyone know. It'll be your dirty little secret, it'll be your guilty little pleasure. Living a secret that the whole world sees, hiding in plain sight among the scum and the thieves. It's so damn hard to ever be pleased. Everyone wants to live the good life, everybody wants a piece of paradise. But where would you run? Where would you hide? What would you do to buy a little more time? Grandiose dreams of happily ever after are really just another day's end. And when the sun goes down, you just lay there wondering, can you really do it all again? You're praying for one last shot, you're hoping for one last big win. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along.
Show's over. I'm out of here, folks. Bye.